What's up, guys? So, I'm going to tell you about myself and what I'm here to try to help you guys out with, what I made this channel for. So, my name is Ryan. I just turned 26 a few weeks ago. I am really into fitness, hardcore with it. I've been training for 40 months yesterday. It was April 5th, 2013. That was the day I got into fitness. So yeah, 40 months yesterday, the 5th of August. Anyway, so that's like, going on 3.5 years. Growing up, I wasn't into fitness. I didn't play any sports in school or anything like that. I mean, I tried football for a little bit of practice and one game. I was horrible at it, so I quit. When I was about 8 or 9 years old, I did karate for a little bit, got a few belts. But that's just a way to just have you honestly just pay, have your parents pay just to get you through, so they're proud of you, and then you want to keep going, so they want you to pay the enrollment. But now I'm starting to digress a little bit, so getting back to me. So April 5th, 2013, I was basically a cigarette smoker. I smoked cigarettes, I smoked Newports, any cigarette I could get my hand on I would smoke for 4 years. And I played video games all day. I didn't do much. I sat on the computer and just chatted online. Yeah, I mean, I would go outside and hang out with friends and stuff, but generally I was very stationary. I didn't do much. So April 5th came about, and I put out my last cigarette. I put it out, and I put on some shoes. It was a crappy pair of shoes. It was actually DC's. They were black and blue, kind of like how my lungs felt. Horrible. I don't know why I think blue. I guess just depressed. Anyway, so I put on the shoes. I went outside, and I basically jogged until I got tired, and then I walked until my lungs started to feel a little better. So then I would jog, and then I'd walk, and then I'd jog, and I'd walk. And I would do that for several hours every single day. I was outside from noon to 5, just moving my body. No rest days. Did it 7 days a week. Because the main thing is I was actually researching. Like I said in another video, I always recommend researching. So I researched, how can I heal my lungs? How can I jumpstart the healing process? So I learned that doing cardiovascular exercises would help, as well as doing deep breathing exercises, and just to not smoke anymore, and even eat right and drink more water, get the cell repair happening. So I completely just went haywire and transformed. I figured, man, everything goes hand in hand, so I have to severely change every single element of my being in order to heal. So what I did is, like I said, I went outside and I would walk, jog, and it was pretty hot outside, but I was very self-conscious, so I wore a hoodie. I was overweight, and I was very weak. I didn't want anyone to see me or know who I was, so I put on a hoodie, and it didn't matter how hot it was. I was basically, it was beneficial, because I learned that sweating out the toxins is what is gonna basically make things speeding up the process. So I sweated everything out. I started to lose weight really fast. I was only eating about once, maybe twice a day, just like noodles, because I learned, I read things like carbs and energy and sugar and stuff like that, but I also wanted to lose weight, so I just ate just the bare minimal just to survive and to give me a little bit of energy. And I would drink water. I stopped drinking pop, stopped eating fast food, fried foods and all that stuff, but I was mainly just eating noodles, and it was just regular spaghetti noodles. I had no idea what complex carbs were to even get whole grain noodles. God, if I'd have known that then, it would have saved me a lot of headache, because I would ended up getting the spike to crash, insulin. But hey, trial and error, right? So after about 7 months of doing that, I was able to run about 9-10 miles without stopping at a slower pace. I felt phenomenal. My lungs felt a million times better, and not only did they feel better from quitting, but they actually felt better compared to when I even started smoking 4 years prior to the day I quit, because my cardiovascular system was just stronger in general. Because like I said, I didn't have a fitness background prior to April 5th, 2013. So even before I smoked, my lungs didn't have a lot of capacity. Even though I didn't smoke, they weren't damaged, but they weren't strong. So, and again, cardiovascular exercises help, but it's not just about your lungs too, it's about your heart, your arteries, everything. So I just naturally strengthened everything. My red blood cell count was higher, my lung capacity was higher, everything was great. So then it started getting cold. It started freezing outside. It was about, going on end of November, December, and I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I found the gym, Planet Fitness. So what I would do is I would just go there, and I wasn't driving there or anything. I would commute there myself. So I'd run there just to get on the treadmill, just to run on the treadmill. Then I'd run home. I didn't touch weights at all or anything like that. So I was over 200 pounds when I first started, and whenever I freaking stopped, I was about 140 pounds. I was severely skinny. I mean, if you look at me now, I have some mass, abs, whatever, but I was so skinny. No chest, no abs, just everything was flat like a freaking 11-year-old boy. Yeah. So then I started to research more. Alright, well, my lungs are healed for the most part. I feel great. I'm running amazingly. What can I do now to not be this skinny but still being able to run? Strength training. I finally figured it out. Strength training. So I started lifting and I gained a little bit of weight, but not a lot. So what I did was I was like, alright, I'm lifting, why aren't I building muscle as fast as I want? And then it said to do less cardio, but I didn't want to do that. So then I realized, okay, I get it. I'm not eating enough. I'm not getting enough calories. I'm not getting enough protein. I'm not getting enough carbohydrates. Especially vitamins I wasn't getting enough of. Holy crap. How can I boost my metabolism? 5 small meals a day. 3 main meals, smaller portion, and 2 to 3 snacks. I started doing it. I was blowing up so fast. It was amazing. So I went to about 165 pounds, and then I started to realize it was starting to jeopardize my running. I was slowing down. My energy too, because the more weight you are, the more energy you output. So I was like, okay, well, 140 was too little, 165 is too big. Now keep in mind, I was clean bulking. I wasn't eating crap. I was eating still healthy, but muscle does weigh more than fat. So anyway, I dropped 10 pounds, went down to 155, and that was like my ideal weight. I'm 5'11", I was doing great. So about 3 weeks after I became a member at Planet Fitness, I applied and I got hired, and it was awesome because I had a free gym membership. I basically turned into a gym rat. I was lifting, I was running, making a name for myself. People were inspired, asking me how was I able to run so well, and that I looked good, and this and that. So I just felt the best of my life. I mean, the cigarette smoking, I turned negative to a positive. I went to hell to get to heaven, because I never would have found myself if it wasn't for doing that negative thing. And even though I haven't touched a cigarette since that day, 40 months yesterday, I still wouldn't change a thing. I would not, go back to never smoke, because I would say that, like, I wish I never would have smoked, but I wouldn't never gotten the fitness either. It took that for me to learn and for me to have something to work towards, and I'm working towards it so well that I want to keep going. Now, the awesome thing is I'm actually back up to about 161, 162, but I lost more body fat, it's more muscle, and I conditioned my legs to where they are a lot tougher. I had a few injuries since I started running. I had my Achilles tendon injured. I had basically runner's knee a couple of different times, and it was to the point where I was running on it. I was literally running through it. I had to like bend one leg and keep the other one straight in order for me to run. And I realized this isn't getting me anywhere. I'm not progressing. So I had to stop for like 3 to 4 weeks in between. I had to just let it heal. So I let it heal. It healed just fine. And I'm back. I'm good. It was called being stubborn. I was so addicted to the runner's high that I was getting. I was so addicted to just feeling better that all I wanted to do was run through it. But that was just being stubborn and not being smart. I also learned about shoes. Shoes play a major role. Those DCs I had destroyed, there's actually a picture of them. And also a pair of Nikes, I destroyed them. Here's a picture of those. So I realized that shoes play a role. And not even just the shoes that you buy, but how often you switch them out. Because for me, I bought really expensive shoes. There's a picture of those, and I popped the bubbles within 2 weeks. Now, they did give me a refund on those ones. And the saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Well, I ended up buying another pair. Here's a picture of those, and those shoes popped. So, never again. Now, I was wearing Nikes for over 2 years. I researched the best running shoes, and I concluded that it was Brooks. So before I even bought my first pair of Brooks, because I was skeptical, I was still wearing Nikes for about a year. About 7 months ago, I put on my first pair of Brooks, and could not be any happier. Brooks are the best, the most comfortable, the most long-lasting, and I'm always going to stick with Brooks unless something else better comes out, or if there's something I'm missing. Maybe in the comments below you can let me know. So, yeah, Brooks. And then also, I learned about, what got me to be able to not be so bored running, and that is music. Now, I'm in the metal. Despite being a Christian, I listen to metal. And the metal I used to listen to really heavy, just crazy deathcore and just death metal and just heaviness. Mellowed out. I don't like it anymore. I've always liked melodic death metal. You might be thinking that's an oxymoron, but that'll be for another discussion, another topic. But you could search a few random bands, melodic death metal, like Dark Tranquillity, and even In Flames, Nomina, Amon Amarth. It's death metal, but there's melody. There's awesome riffs. The tones are awesome. It's not like ta-na-na-na-na-na. It's more like you just have to hear it. YouTube keeps on like banning my freaking videos for music, so just search those few bands and you'll see. Across the Sun's really good. Silosis is really good. Some of these bands that I'm mentioning, they're melodeath, but some of it has like thrash elements or progressive elements, but the point still stands is all those bands have melody. Yeah, so I put my music on, had awesome playlists, and it just helped keep my mind occupied. It also helped me feel motivated because of the lyrics and just doing what I like to do. Those bands make the music because they like doing it, so I get to experience enjoyment with the bands, whether they know it or not, because they're creating it and I'm listening to it and it's making me feel good. It's keeping my mind distracted. And sorry about the train in the background. This is not that loud. It might honk a few times, whatever. I was working at Planet Fitness. I worked there 6 months, ended up moving. It was hard for me to, despite me running, because I would run the work. It was just a drag every single day. Just getting there, and then I got frustrated with a few things that was going on, so I ended up quitting. And when I quit and stuff like that, I was actually working at, got a job at LA Fitness. I was there. They wanted me to train, but this one guy that was working there, he was there for a while, but he didn't get enough numbers that month, so I transferred him to a different club. He was upset. So I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to train. So to basically fast forward a little bit, I was just working at Planet Fitness again for a franchise, not for a corporate one. And they did promote me a fitness trainer, and it was awesome. I was helping a lot of people. They really liked me. I learned fast. I was real tough because I don't play games. I want you to progress. I want you to heal. 365 days a year, I want you to heal, and the members understood that. However, I didn't get that promotion easily. I worked at one club for 6 months, and then there's only one trainer per club, so they ended up transferring me. They said, hey, we'll give you this opportunity, but you have to transfer. So the transfer was 25 miles away, and I don't have a car, I don't drive, I get rides. So it was just a lot of gas money. It was a lot on, her vehicle, driving me back and forth and stuff. That's 4 trips a day. It's 100 miles a day, 5 days a week. It's 500 miles a week, and it was only for $1 more. And because of the gas, it was basically making it a lot less for me compared to before I got transferred. But yeah, it was my fault for accepting it in the first place, knowing that. Oh well, what can I do? I ended up quitting, but I just got hired at Macy's, so, and I only wanted part-time anyway, because I was working 60-70 hour weeks at Planet Fitness, doing overnights, and it was just a lot. I mean, the overtime was great, don't get me wrong, but I care more about health than money. Money's important. Money helps me get the things I need to sustain my health, but if I'm not living healthily, or healthy, I said healthily, whatever, if I'm not living healthy anyway, or happily and healthy, then what's the sense of money? It's just, I feel my soul getting sucked out of me. So it just had to be done. But I got a lot of experience. I am trained to train, and I am also certified to train. So yeah, I'm certified, and I'm going to start training people. Well, I've already trained people on the side, but I'm going to pursue that and just keep on making content for you guys. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. I couldn't be happier, seriously. So God bless you all. Have a blessed and prosperous rest of your day, and I'll see you in another video.